I still have a big back catalog of movie recommendations to get through, so yesterday I watched About Time. Donald Gleason is a young man who has so far been romantically unlucky when his father informs him that all of the men in their lineage have the ability to travel through time. With a simple location and gesture, he can go anywhere along his own timeline, making whatever changes he wants to ensure that most things in his life turn out perfectly. He then uses this opportunity to bend the odds and get together with the love of his life, played by Rachel McAdams, and they live happily ever after. They honestly do a good job with this because it could have been an incredibly long montage of a creep constantly tipping the scales just to get together with this one woman, but they really are meant for each other and he only uses his power to amend a couple of his own mistakes. And here comes my problem, and trust me, I'm not trying to be one of those guys that watches a sweet romance movie that lightly incorporates time travel and then sits here trying to pick apart all of the inaccuracies of their fantasy systems, but I do think they could have made some of the rules a little clearer. And maybe it's my fault, but I didn't realize for almost the entire movie that he could come forward back from where he went back to, take another person with him, or undo the changes that he made. And they don't have to tell me everything, but there was a scene where he brought his sister back almost a decade to try and fix her life. I didn't know he could do that, but they're showing me he can. Whatever. If it weren't for the fact that I thought he was going to have to relive all of those years meeting his wife all over again as some intense sacrifice for his family. And more importantly, this lack of clarity turned them trying to simply raise the stakes of the story into what I thought was one of the scariest scenes I'd seen in any movie. Because when he returned from going back so far, something I didn't know he could do, his daughter was now his son. All of the memories he had of raising his only child nullified and replaced with a person he had never met before. Literally a living nightmare maybe worthy of suicide. And then in the next scene, his daughter's back. He can just undo it. That would have been super nice to know before I was dealing with all the horrific mental repercussions of this slight mishap. All of that was simply to learn that he can't go back any farther than the moment his child is born because of butterfly effect things, and while I think it should technically be the moment of conception, I again am not here to argue the rules of time travel in this heartfelt rom-com. Getting over all that, I do think the dad's rule of living every day twice, and the one Donald lands on himself of living every day for the first time as if you had decided to come back right here, are maybe some of the biggest contenders for messages from movies that have the ability to change your outlook on life. 3.5 stars.